Hey everyone, this is Monica from the Dough Planner, and I wanted to share with you guys today some goal setting for heading into this new year. I really love to take this week between Christmas and the actual New Year's Eve to kind of reflect on my past year and get ready for the upcoming year. And so this is actually a class that I did with my builders and thought that I would share it with you guys because it just might be really valuable, and there might be some things in here that really kind of resonate with you and help you plan for your future year. So let's get into it. So I have a few different topics that I'm going to be talking about. So this is the first one, which is the 3 behaviors for a great new year. So the first behavior is consistency. So consistency is probably one of the biggest key things in our business. So you want to really create a plan that you believe in and stick with it. So maybe it's getting up early, or perhaps working extra late, depending on the type of person you are and what kind of fits for you and your business. Maybe it's just having more follow-ups in your business, or knowing how to manage your finances. Whatever that is, you just need to make sure that you are doing it consistently, because it is those small things that we do on a daily basis that really makes us successful. For those of you who've ever read The Slight Edge, or if you haven't, write that one down. So The Slight Edge, it's a fantastic book that kind of covers this exactly. There is no such thing as an overnight success, you guys. It is just those people who seem like they just came out of nowhere, truly just worked day in and day out at their business, or working at their talent, or whatever it might be for them. And they just worked every day, the small menial things that one day just made them kind of explode and seem like an overnight success. But there is no such thing as an overnight success. We can all be those people as long as we are consistently doing those things to grow ourselves and our businesses. So the next behavior for a great new year is self-awareness. So a big one for being self-aware is understanding what emotions that you have, and these are different for everybody. So the emotions you have that are keeping you comfortable in your business or stuck. So what's not allowing you to grow. So a lot of times we will give ourselves stories. So we'll say, I'll do this when this happens. So maybe it's, I'll like really focus on my business when my kids go to school, or over the summer holidays, I'm going to take a break and then come back again in September. But you know what? When we pause, and if we don't do those things now, what are those emotions and what are the reasons behind why we're saying that? So if we say something to ourselves like, oh, I'm really going to grow this business when, my kids go to school, in that moment, our emotions are allowing us to feel kind of a sense of relief, like, oh, okay, good, I don't have to work so hard right now. Now that problem is going to be for September, and I don't have to think about it until then. So that emotion is what's keeping us stuck or comfortable. So becoming really self-aware of the story that you're telling yourself and the story that you're saying to allow yourself to stay comfortable in your business. Once you become aware of that, you can kind of start to reframe those patterns that you're putting yourself into, or reframe your thoughts and speak in a different way. And on that idea of thoughts, go and look at your limiting beliefs as well. So the chitter chatter that we're hearing in our brain, what that is that's telling us, maybe it's we're not good enough. Maybe it's we're no good at this business. Maybe it's I don't know how to sell, or maybe it's I don't want to sell, or whatever those words are. Oftentimes it comes from our childhood, things that maybe our parents or a teacher or friends or relatives may have said to us when we were younger. Those are limiting beliefs as we grow older. So maybe it's around money. Maybe it's around success. You're afraid to be successful, or don't want to be successful, or you're not worthy enough to make money, or money is evil. Whatever those things are that are in your head that is stopping you, become aware of those, and then allow them to be changed. And again, reframing those thoughts, reframing those into something that's beneficial. So instead of money is evil, say, I surround myself, or I acquire money so that I'm able to give back to others. So whatever that is for you, just kind of reframe those beliefs. And this one single tip could be the most important step in your whole business. So if you're finding that you're stuck in a lot of stuff, look at your limiting beliefs and see what you can do about reframing those. And there's a lot of great programs out there that can really help you get over those limiting beliefs. So the next behavior for a great new year is deciding. So there's one thing about like setting a goal, but it's quite another to actually decide on something. So I recently actually went silver. And so it was November 13th and I woke up and I had whatever it was, I just decided on that day I was going to go silver. And my initial plan had been by the end of December. And for whatever reason, I just woke up and I just felt it. And there was something about when you decide to commit to something like that, that just makes it so real. It's no longer just a goal, but it is like, it's just something so concrete. And then everything around me started to align in such a way that I ended up hitting silver at the end of November, which was a big deal. So I just something about deciding. And when you just decide, it's just different than a goal. It just sets you up for more success. But you've got to know it. You've got to know it in your heart and in your head. You can't just say, okay, I'm going to decide, and then still kind of have those worries and not really believing that decision. So really make a decision in something, whatever goal it might be, or a new habit you want to set. Just decide, and then that will happen. All right, the next topic is how to set New Year's resolutions that you can keep. So this is kind of a tricky one for some people sometimes, and we're going to get into that after as well, as to why why keeping them can often, or why setting goals can often fail. So here we go. So number one is to be realistic with your New Year's resolution. So if that is, let's say you've just started out in this business and you want to hit silver in a month. That is quite a lofty goal. And while I'm sure it can happen, it is so extremely rare. And you really want to be realistic with your New Year's resolutions so that you're not feeling like you're failing with them, especially when you're first getting out the gate in the new year. You really want to have goals that are kind of going to, of course you want to step outside your comfort zone, but just not so far out that is completely unrealistic. So number two is to make your goals measurable. We always want to set a goal that we can measure. So let's say I want to be elite by January 31st, or whatever that might look for you. Whatever that goal might be, make your goal and then make it measurable. So if it's, a certain amount of money you want to make in this business, you write that down. If it's a certain date you want to hit a rank, you write that down. Make it measurable. So number three is to keep it simple and clear. So I've heard from my business mentor that, the business gods out there, they don't understand fluffy. So you could be like, oh, I want to help people in other countries. That's a fluffy goal. You want to make it very, very clear and simple. So, in the next 365 days, I want to travel to 2 different countries and volunteer by giving out food to the homeless, or whatever that might be for you, whatever that is. Make your goals simple and make it very clear. So number 4 is to share your goals with others to keep you accountable. There's something about sharing a goal that makes it real. You could say it to yourself as much as you want to, but the second you tell somebody else, now you're like, okay, like I've told that person, now they're expecting me to hit that goal. And that just makes it more real, and it makes you more motivated to kind of hit that goal. So share it with others. Share with us on the Dope Planner page. We'd love to hear your resolutions. All right, number 5 is to plan a time frame out. So perhaps this is, if it's a certain amount of money that you want to be making in this business, then maybe give yourself a 6-month time frame. And then within that time frame, you can also measure, month to month, so it kind of gets you on that path towards that goal. So plan a good time frame for what you want it for. Maybe you want it for over the entire year, or maybe it's just something for the next 3 months, whatever that is. Number 6 is keep moving forward. As long as you don't quit, you will make it in this business. So sit with that for a second. Keep moving forward. Did you know that if you hit only 1 rank every single year, you will hit Presidential Diamond in 10 years? In 10 years. So what would you do in a regular business in 10 years? You might have a raise. You might move up a little bit in the company. But will you be a Presidential Diamond? No. So keep moving forward. Number 6. Number 7 is write them down. The fact that you guys are on this webinar right now and you guys are watching this and you're most likely taking notes, you're going to be writing down your goals. That is a big deal. There's only like 2 to 3% of people in the world who do this at this time of year. And those are the people who really want to grow and who really want to be something and do something in their life. So you are a small percentage. Congratulations, you guys, because that is awesome. So write down those goals. Number 8, reward yourself. So let's say you want to hit a new rank in like 4 months or 5 months. Every month, this is like my little tidbit, every month put away like a bit of money, and then after you've hit that rank, reward yourself. So maybe it's with some cool essential oil goodies for hitting a new rank. Maybe it's an oil that you don't have, or a set of oils you don't have. Or maybe it's like a trip to the spa, or maybe it's, a day volunteering somewhere in your favorite charity. Whatever it might be, reward yourself for those goals, because that just, again, it kind of motivates you and it gets your brain trained to look forward to something, All right, number 9, break up a big goal into very smaller ones. There is worksheets that are going to go along with this webinar that I'll attach in the comments. So make sure you download those. And I'm also going to, in a second, talk about how to break up those goals into smaller ones so that they're more manageable. So number 10 is to take small steps to change old habits. So our habits, they might have been with us for a year or multiple years or our entire lives. So it's going to take some time to change our old habits and replace them with new ones. So just take very small steps in order to do that, and you'll get there. And remember to forgive yourself. Like don't hold on to something or think that if you didn't do something one day that the whole thing is thrown out the window. Just take those small steps to change those old habits. And the last, but one of the most important tips is to create goals that fulfill your soul. So without fulfillment, our life will not mean much to us. So this is something that's really important for yourself, for your soul. You want to create goals and you want to do stuff in your life that will make you feel like you are valuable and something that you've done in this world. We want to leave this planet one day with a greater impact than, how we entered it. We want to make sure that we've left some type of a legacy. Whatever that is that fulfills your soul, maybe it's something super, super small, and that's amazing. Whatever that is, just make sure that you include that in your goals so that you're waking up every day with a purpose. So topic number 3 is how to break down your goals. This is the one I was just telling you about. So you're going to want to use your worksheets for this one. So there's 4 worksheets. There's a main goal list. So what you want to do with that goal list is you want to print that out and just write down anything that feels like something either that you want to accomplish or whatever it is that lights your soul on fire, whatever it is that you love doing, things that you see for the future. Just use this as just like a little draft copy of different ideas. And there's questions along the side that'll kind of help trigger anything that if you're feeling stuck and not thinking of any goals for, something, then just refer to those questions and those can help trigger your mind to get you going. The next page is on breaking down that goal and actually goal setting. So make your goal, write that down, the reason why you want that, why it's important to you, and that will kind of give you a chance to reflect as to why you want that goal, which in the end will help when you're trying to accomplish it. When things might look a little rough, refer back to that page and be like, okay, why am I doing this again? And then that'll help to kind of get you moving forward again. The next 2 are breaking down the goals. So the first one is breaking down a smaller goal or something that might happen over a month or a couple of months. And then the last page is over a 12-month period, breaking down a very large goal. So we're going to talk about that right now. So how to break down your goal. So we're going to use an example of breaking your goal down by, okay, I want to hit elite. So first we need to make it measurable like we discussed before. So let's put a date on it. I want to hit elite by February 1st. And for those who might be watching this in the middle of the year, right now we're 2 days until the new year. So we're still in December. So let's just say we want to hit elite by February 1st. So what will that look like into January? So the first week of January, we're going to add up all our expected LRP volume. And let's just pretend, for example, we've got 1,500 LRP volume coming through our team for January. So we need to get the number of overall volume we still need for elite. So with elite, that is 3,000 of volume, PV volume going through your organization. So if we've already got 1,500, we need another 1,500. So now we want to plan for 3 classes for the month. So generally speaking and statistically speaking, each class brings out around 500 PV. So if we want to hit 1,500 PV, we need to teach 3 classes and enroll the number of people that will make it to 500 PV. So usually that's 2 to 3 people depending on what they are enrolling with. And then this is just a consistent thing every week that we do on our team, and that is we want to follow up with 10 people every week and have 10 new contacts every week. So that is Monday to Friday, that's 2 a day. Do you know how long that takes? Like 15 minutes. That is the easiest part of this business, but it is what will make your business successful. 15 minutes a day, guys. So that's what you're going to do the week of January 1st if you wanted to hit elite. So that just kind of breaks it down. So that's week 1. And then, the second week, third week, fourth week, it's, I'll teach a class and do a couple one-on-ones, enroll a couple new people, and then do the same follow-up and contacting of new people. And so this breaks down that goal of hitting elite. This is what you need to do each week in order to get to where you want to be. And guess what? Your mission would be accomplished by February 1st. So really, the end of January, you would end up being elite based on all of those things. So breaking down those goals will really ensure that you have the proper map to get you to where you want to go. So topic number 4, this will be the last topic of the day. So why do resolutions fail? So often we hear, all those articles will come out in February saying, oh, why all these resolutions failed and everything else. It's the same pattern year after year after year. So let's keep ours this year, guys. Let's see what we can do to do that. So first of all, New Year's resolutions will fail without a plan. So if you don't have a map of how to get to where you want to go, you won't be able to get there. It's like planning a trip and then looking at the map and being like, awesome, I'm going to drive across the country and this is where I want to go, and then closing up that map and not looking at it again. So once you start driving, you might get lost and you won't know where you're going. So you want to make that plan, a map of how you want to get there. So again, breaking those down into mini measurable goals and then having that plan laid out for you and following that plan, because we want to take action too. And here's the next one, action. So New Year's resolutions fail without action. So we can take on as much knowledge as we want. We can sit and watch webinars all day long. We can, read up every single book, but knowledge only gets you so far. The smartest person in the world will always lose to the person who's taking action. So if you're not taking action, you're not doing anything in this business and nothing will happen. Nothing will grow. You won't grow as a person. So you want to be able to get your business moving, which means you need to take action. So taking action, the knowledge will always follow. And it's sometimes best to take action first before, because then you're going to learn as you go. People might ask you questions in a class and you won't know the answer. And that's awesome, because now you get to learn the knowledge part of it. You just let that person know, I'm so glad you asked. This is something I'm not sure yet either. So I'm going to look into that and get right back to you. And then you find out whatever that answer is to that question that you didn't know yet. So just take action. So resolutions fail because they aren't revised. So again, I'm going to this map idea. So if you've written down your goals and had a great plan but not revised them, that's another thing. If we look, like, we can write all these things down right now and write out our goals and say we're going to do this month and this the next month, and write out everything from now until next December to hit those big lofty goals. But if we don't look at those goals ever again, or that sheet ever again as we're moving along throughout the year, then we're again going to get lost. We're going to get falling off the plan and not revising. Sometimes we have a big goal, but then halfway through the year, that goal needs to be adjusted. Maybe we're going to complete that goal a little sooner, or maybe there's something different that needs to be adjusted about that goal. So use your monthly review in your dough planners. So at the end of every month, you've got your monthly review. Use that monthly review to revise your goals if you need to, or to just remind yourself of what you need to do going into the next month. So resolutions also fail because of unreasonable expectations. So some people will look at resolutions as a race. They might compare themselves to other people, maybe other wellness advocates. Maybe they're going to compare themselves to, family members or whatever that is, and they want to race through it. Maybe, so-and-so hit diamond in 6 months. Well, that means I can do it. Like, if they can do it, anybody can do it. And sure, that's true, but you want it to be reasonable. If you are still, working, maybe you still have another job, or you're working part-time or even full-time trying to build your essential oil business in the meantime, hitting diamond in 6 months is an unreasonable expectation, and you want to set yourself up for success. So if you have a really large goal that you want to meet, break it down again into those smaller, simpler goals, and give yourself lots of time to complete it, because we are in this for the long game. This is not a race. And another reason why this is really important, not only does it ensure consistency in your team, but you might not be ready to hit diamond in 6 months. We need to grow as a person to be able to hit that rank. We need to be at a certain place in our personal growth and in our own development to be able to be that type of a leader to our diamond team. So that is another thing that you really want to consider when you're pushing for certain ranks, is making sure that you're personally ready for that rank and for that leadership position as you go along. And if we hustle super hard to get there, sometimes we find blockages once we've arrived at that place because we personally weren't quite ready for that. So they also will fail without a permanent change in your life. So this is the time of year where we're so excited, we're filled with hope and possibilities of the new year, and often it'll be, a day or a few weeks or whatever it is into this new year, or fully into January, and slowly our old habits kind of pop in here and there, and then we start to lose hope a little bit, and then we just kind of give up altogether. Well, some resolutions do require that permanent change. So whatever that is that requires that permanent change, just do it and just kind of go with it. So maybe it's 30 minutes of self-care that you need in order to hit those resolutions. So whatever that is, just go with that and just be consistent with it and just make that change and do your best to stick with it, because this is a permanent change and sometimes we will revert back a little bit. But again, forgive yourself and keep moving forward, like I mentioned before. So one of the biggest, I think, reasons why resolutions will fail is because of our limiting beliefs. So did you know that 85 to 90% of people who win the lottery will lose all of it within 5 years and end up right back where they were? So this is because our brains make sure that our beliefs, values, and paradigms will match our outside world. So think of our brains as like a thermostat. In our house, if it's set at 21 degrees and it gets up to 23, the air conditioning will come on and bring it back down to 21 degrees. Or if it drops down to like 19 degrees, the heat will come on and bring it back up to 21 degrees, because that's where the thermostat is set to. Our brains are the same way. Unless we are growing and developing ourselves or our brains will always stay consistent where they are. So the people who win the lottery, if they're used to only making 50 grand a year, they will blow all of that lottery money until they're back down to 50 grand, because that is their thermostat. That is where they are set. So same in this business. If we believe we can't make it in this business, or we believe that we're not worthy of success, or if we believe that money is evil, our businesses are going to reflect that. So we want to make sure that all of our beliefs will reflect what our goals are. So you want to make sure that you are in line with that vision that you're creating, what you're setting for this year, the intentions that you have. Make sure that your growth and development in your brain is going to get you there too. So reading books, listening to podcasts, reading people's blogs, whatever it is that helps with you and your growth and development, and that could be different for everybody. Meditation, yoga, prayer, whatever that looks like for you. Make sure you're developing yourself so that you can hit those goals, because your brain has grown as well. So I want to just give you a little note on setting habits. So first, I just want to give you a little view on a day in my life. So recently, I've changed a lot of my own habits in order to kind of step up my game. And so for me, I'm a really early riser, and I love getting stuff done in the morning. My husband, he works from I'll go to bed at 10:30, 11. He works usually from 11 until 3 a.m. He is a night hawk and is the most creative mastermind in the world at that hour. I need to be sleeping, and I get up at 6 a.m. What time is it now? It's 7:20 a.m. Because I did my first hour. So I take 6 o'clock a.m. until 7 o'clock. I wake up and I take about a liter of water with grapefruit and lemon oil. So that gets my body refreshed and detoxified, and my digestive system is ready for the day. I do meditation. I do yoga. I write in a journal. I do a bit of reading. I listen to a podcast. I set my goals in my dough planner for the day. And I'm missing something. Oh, and then I make a really uplifting, healthy breakfast and take my supplements with my breakfast. And that's usually while I'm writing down my goals. So that is my first hour. So I will do that all between 6 a.m. and 7 a.m. And I'm a homeschooling mom, so my boys usually wake up between 7 and 7:30. So I'm done the core of what makes me feel lifted and what gives me my most like self-care. That's done already. So my boys wake up, they get to watch 2 shows in the morning. And so while they're watching those shows, they'll wake up, I'll make them breakfast. They get to watch their shows. And in that next, usually it's about an hour, I will get my follow-ups and my contacts done. Any emails that came in from my leaders that need questions answered or anything like that. A post on my Facebook page, that will get done first thing in the morning too. And so that stuff is now finished. Those are the biggest parts of my business that need to be done on a daily basis. And it's done before 8 a.m. So most people are waking up and they're rushing, trying to get to work, trying to get kids, trying to do this, trying to do that. If you can get a jump start on your day, this is again, if you're a morning person, but if you can get a jump start on your day, wake up before the sun, like you have got so much done in that first, moment of life, moment of waking up. A lot of us are so stuck in an employee mindset. We're raised in a school system that makes us, we sit down and we listen to our teacher, and which in our adult life, that's our boss. We're told when we can take a break for lunch. We're told when to, take a break for recess or for a snack or whatever it is in school. And then again in an employee time. And we're trained to think that it is an 8-hour workday. It does not have to be an 8-hour workday when you're an entrepreneur. When you own your own business, you can get so much done in an hour if you sit and you focus. So don't get lost in the scroll hole of Facebook. Don't get lost in looking at what everybody else has to say. Be aware of what you're putting into your brain. So be aware of who's controlling your mind. Who is it? Is it Facebook? Is it Instagram? Is it, people's negative posts? Maybe it's the news. Is it negative news, or is it keeping up with the Kardashians? Like, what is it that might be occupying your brain? Try and slowly replace those things with inspiring messages, inspiring reading, or again, podcasts or videos, YouTube videos. I find like my 5 top people that I love that are my, mentors who aren't really my mentors, like people who, I'm trying to give an example. Chris Carr is a really great one. She's somebody that I follow on Facebook. Gabby Bernstein, she's another really awesome person. Gary Vaynerchuk. Depending on who you are, you might resonate with different people that you want to follow on Facebook. And here's a good tip for you. If you find those people, like whoever they are, maybe they're authors or public speakers, whoever those are for you, make those people your mentors. You are the most, you're the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So if you can spend time in their brains listening to what they have to say, that will just change your life in this upcoming year. So go onto Facebook, find their pages, like their pages if you don't already, and then you can select there's a little thing that says following. You can select under there that you want to see their posts first. So do that, because then when you wake up in the morning, if you feel like you need to go on Facebook for some reason, those first 5 to 10 posts you're seeing are going to be from those people that are inspiring you, those people that are motivational, whoever those people are for you. Maybe it's Tony Robbins. Whoever those are, you will see those posts first thing in the morning. And what a great way to start your day, right? Instead of getting lost in the drama of other people's lives. We don't need that. That's not income producing. We want to focus on our businesses and be the best people we can be, and not be drawn and pulled down and make those things anchors. We want to be lifted and uplifting ourselves as well. So the next little note here, forgiving yourself. Sorry, I totally gone on a tangent there on the day of my life. Anyways, forgiving yourself. So I've mentioned this a few times in this webinar. We really want to forgive ourselves for if we've fallen off a little bit of our goals, or if we've moved in a different direction and want to get back on track. Just forgive yourself and move on. The past is in the past. The future is bright. Just keep moving forward. And then the last one is hear your mentor cheer you on. So if you really do look up to somebody like Tony Robbins, and I use him all the time because he has a great video on is it upgrading your standards or something like that? It's something about moving your standards up, basically. So having higher standards. Try and find it on YouTube. It's a really, really great video. And one of the things he says in there is when you wake up in the morning, just get your feet on the floor and start your day. Just go, just do it. Just up those standards. Don't hit the snooze button and be like, I just need another 5 or 10 minutes. No, get your feet up off the ground. And I'm telling you, I do this every morning, especially on the days where I'm super tired and I do not want to get up. And I'm like, okay, Tony Robbins, call out to me. And like, I just hear his voice in that video saying like, get your feet off the ground, like get up, go and do this. So hear your mentor cheer you on and just keep going. And so on the last note, what would you do today if you knew that you could not fail? Now go and do that. So that is it for me today, you guys. I really am so grateful that you sat and listened to this whole thing. Congratulations. That's huge. Thank you for joining me, and I wish you nothing but the greatest of all things in this new year.